Yeah, you already know what we have to do. We have to give that disclaimer because just in case this video goes up and there already is a trade made, then this entire conversation is pointless. But I am recording this audio on the morning of October 5th, 2023. It is 12:07 a.m. The video will probably be out in about 12 hours from now. And today we're talking about some trade rumors linking the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, we actually haven't made a video about the overarching idea on why this is a thing just yet, but I guess we could tackle two birds in one stone, kind of get it all out there, out of the way in this one audio commentary here. Tampa Bay is in a pickle right now, because at the time of recording this piece, they have themselves one goalie that is available to them, and it's not the one who is a top-tier NHL Vezina winner and Conn Smythe winner. It's Jonas Johansson. Now, no disrespect to Jonas Johansson as a goaltender. He is a guy that definitely belongs in the NHL, and he was projected to being the backup for the Tampa Bay Lightning for a reason. However, when it comes to the main guy that was supposed to be the Tampa Bay Lightning's starting goaltender, Andrei Vasilevskiy had back surgery earlier this week, and the projections are saying that he's probably going to miss the first 2 months of the NHL season. That is pretty bad. And when it comes to the Lightning, a lot of their success, a lot of their identity as a team is accomplished through Andrei Vasilevskiy's incredible play. He is one of the best goalies in the world. He is just an absolute wall out there when he needs to be. He's a guy whom you could always rely on to bounce back. He seems to do that effortlessly. He has one bad game and he follows it up with 3 good games. Andrei Vasilevskiy is a beast. He has so much pedigree as a goalie in this league, so losing out on that guy for a team that is maybe in their last dance kind of scenario, who knows what happens with Steven Stamkos, who knows what happens with the rest of these guys, this is a big blow. And as a result, you have yourselves a bunch of trade rumors linking the Tampa Bay Lightning to different teams who have goaltenders available. There were rumors saying that the Lightning might have put in a claim for Spencer Martin back when that guy was on waivers a few days ago, but of course, because he was claimed by the Columbus Blue Jackets, he ended up going there because the Blue Jackets were higher in the waiver priority. But today we're talking about one of the guys in Toronto that happens to be linked in this discussion as well. Martin Jones. Now, part of the reason the Toronto Maple Leafs have some sort of a situation in net right now is because of the guy that we had talked about just a few weeks ago. Joseph Woll is a very good young goaltender, and the idea of having 3 or 4 goalies on an NHL team at one time, it kind of feels weird. Now I say 4 just jokingly, because the Toronto Maple Leafs do have Matt Murray on their payroll, a guy who is probably not going to be used, all things considered. So let's just talk about the 3 guys the Leafs have on their roster right now. They've got Joseph Woll, Ilya Samsonov, and Martin Jones. If you wanted to say that Woll is good enough to be a backup, and Samsonov could carry that load as the number 1, then Jones, simply put, is the odd man out, a guy whom the Toronto Maple Leafs acquired in free agency this previous offseason for $875,000. Now, for Jones, he definitely isn't a bad goalie. He had a .900 save percentage with the Philadelphia Flyers 2 years ago. Last season, he had an .887 with the Seattle Kraken, which admittedly is pretty bad. I mean, honestly, okay, yeah, I mean, he's an NHL goalie, but he's just not a very good one, statistically speaking. He has had better days in the National Hockey League as a member of the San Jose Sharks. He was such a good player with San Jose. But as the years have gone on, the Sharks got worse, the Flyers aren't all too great, the Kraken had an okay run with him. I mean, the guy was 27-13-3 in his stint with Seattle, but that .887 save percentage is not good. He's a Toronto Maple Leafs guy now, and we have a few articles, a few ideas tossed around as to whether or not he could go over to the Tampa Bay Lightning in a trade. The most recent article that I wanted to pull from is on the Hockey News, Rue de Rumor, the New York Rangers conundrum. Now, you could kind of guess what this article's main piece is about. In fact, I want to save that main idea for the weekend. I don't want to talk about it just yet. But if you scroll down in this piece written by Stan Fischler and Stefan Rosner from earlier yesterday, you'll find a conversation happening about Julien Brisebois and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Take a look at what this Hockey News article says. In order to fill the gap caused by goalie Andrei Vasilevsky's 10-12 surgery recover program means the test of all tests for Julien Brisebois. For a change, the Lightning boss will trade while bargaining from weakness. It'll cost him a handful of players and a draft pick or two in order to land a competent goalie. Then again, Julien Brisebois could go very cheap and gamble on Jaro Halak, working out in Boston. With zero cap space in Tampa, the return of Vasilevsky means that somebody will have to go. Or, as one Florida reporter puts it, finding someone with near the ability of Vasilevsky is impossible. He's talking about Martin Jones, Magnus Hellberg, and Tony Stolarz, all of whom are on Brisebois' radar. This is why having a strong backup tandem in the NHL is incredibly important. It was clear that Vasilevsky had been overworked over the years, but now the Lightning are in a pickle with just Jonas Johansson. Martin Jones makes sense. While unlikely, the Rangers should monitor Rangers' Jonathan Quick, as Dylan Durant has been exceptional so far in training camp and preseason, despite his lack of NHL experience. This article towards the end also talks about the idea as to whether or not Marc-Andre Fleury could be on the Lightning's radar, but I wanted to make this video about Jones because, yeah, I mean, Toronto, linking Toronto to everything gets a lot of views, or hopefully it does, but for Martin Jones, this is a guy who, if he was the odd man out in Toronto, he could very well be what needs to happen to allow a Tampa Bay Lightning season to commence properly. Again, no disrespect to Jonas Johansson, but it's tough to fill the shoes of a guy in Andrei Vasilevsky who is generally regarded as one of the best goalies in this generation. So, for Tampa fans, Martin Jones, is he the guy for you? The situation in Toronto is pretty dire, but there are a few other goaltending trios around the league that maybe or maybe not have some availability here. We had talked the other day about Caden Primo in Montreal, whether or not the Habs would waive that guy. There are a few other goalies whose names could be waived too. Martin Jones is a player who is making $800,000 against the Toronto Maple Leafs salary cap. If they trade him away for a draft pick, that frees up some extra money, and sure, while it's not a lot, every dollar counts if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. Plus, this would be one of the easier contracts for the Tampa Bay Lightning to get rid of once Vasilevsky comes back. Not gonna say that Martin Jones is only gonna be a 2-month replacement in the Lightning system, but that's just kind of what they're looking for, right? If the plan was always to go Vasilevsky-Johansson, then having Vasilevsky out for 2 months shouldn't remove the idea entirely, because you're still going to get Vasilevsky back. Jonas Johansson's a guy who has been here for a while and admittedly has been pretty good in the AHL and his small NHL sample. He had 3 games played with the Avalanche last year and had a .932 save percentage. How do you go out there and doubt that guy? So for the Tampa Bay Lightning, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're a fan of this team, who is the backup goalie that you want to target? Who is the guy that you think could be your number 1 replacement in either Johansson or some guy that you acquire in a trade? Martin Jones was a number 1 goalie in San Jose for a good chunk of his career. He posted up a .918 save percentage in 2015-16 in 65 games played, and a .923 save percentage when the team went to the finals and lost. Jones has a credibility that isn't really attainable within the last 3 or 4 years. It's there if you go back to 2016, but not too present afterwards. Is this a situation where the Toronto Maple Leafs have a guy in Samsonov they can trust, they have a guy in Wall whom they want to take the next step, and Jones just happens to be a guy who, if he does everything right, might not even get a chance to show that off in Toronto, should they send him away to a team like Tampa, wherein he'll actually have a chance to win a spot? Thoughts in the comment section below if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. What do you think Martin Jones could be worth on the market if he is traded to Tampa Bay? They kind of sounded the same in my head, which is kind of how that came out. But if it's Jones to Tampa Bay, what is the price? What do you think the Leafs get in return? What draft pick, what prospect, whatever do you think is going to be included there? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.